I got her thing. So
All right, I'm gonna stop. What am I doing? All right, we should be good. I think. let me go check on the old
yeah,
YouTube.
everything sounds good on
Okay, good.
YouTube.
All right. All right, let me let everybody know we're here and that we're live and we're doing stuff.
Not things though.
Not things. We're doing
That's
stuff.
that's next week.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Greetings, programs, and we're back for another episode of the Nerd Cave Retro Show. My name is Jason Robbins.
And coming to you live from the sun, Derek Diamond.
We were talking before the show, like, dude, this weather is unbelievable. It's so freaking hot. Like, I just want to die.
Today has been the worst day of summer.
Yeah.
I swear I choked on the humidity when I left work today. I had to crank up my car and wait for like 2 minutes for the air to circulate because it was unbearable. Like I couldn't get in the car.
Yeah, I think it was over 100 degrees today, just the regular temperature, and that's not even including humidity and heat index. So that's your weather report here on the Nerd Cave Retro Show.
We should get a green screen and then throw up the weather behind us and just play like the flaming dumpster fire gif.
Yeah,
like that's the South right
that's
now.
Fine. Oh yeah, Chuck says it's only 96 outside. That's nothing. Yeah, 96.
And that whole 4 degree difference.
Yeah.
it makes all the world of difference.
And the Rushmore show in the chat room right now, says they can't wait to have us on the show Thursday. So yeah, I wanted while we're at the top of the show, I want to let you guys know that this Thursday we are going to be on the Rushmore show live on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. We'll put up some links on the socials so you know where to go. Or you can just go over to, I think it's youtube.com/@Rushmore Show.
At the Rushmore Show.
Yeah, at the Rushmore Show. Go follow those guys and make sure you're there. This Thursday, we're going to be talking about our favorite sleepover
games.
So that's going to be fun. It's like a top 5, but it's a top 4.
Yeah. It's so elite that they took away the fifth option. So
they took one away.
It's a really fun show. I've been listening to it on YouTube while I've been at work, and I'm excited for us to be a part of it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
So what else is what you been doing this week? Been playing anything fun?
Mostly Terranigma, the game that I'm going to be reviewing a little bit later on in the show. What else have I played? I did play a little bit of Secret of Evermore. It's because it's been a while since I played it. I think I started a new playthrough last year sometime, but kind of got away from it and then got back into it. Terranigma's put me on a RPG kick, so
yeah,
kind of been dabbling into that.
Oh, and Rushmore Show says more like top 8 when you do the honorable mentions. So yeah, we usually do the honorable mentions too. So
yeah. Still more elite than a top 5 plus honorable mentions.
All I really played this week was some more Resident Evil 4 remake. I'm trying to get to $2 million so I can buy the infinite rocket launcher and just see what that's like in the game. Just go through the game with an infinite rocket launcher just sounds awesome.
Yeah, rocket launchers are fun. Like they're broken in a way because it kind of makes things insanely easy, but I just love the chaos that they cause. Like I think the map in Halo 3, I think it was the Guardian, the really small one where you get 4 people and you just use nothing but rocket launchers. You can't even make a turn without just getting destroyed.
It's insanity.
But it's so fun.
It's always a game, like you said, it's a game-breaking thing, but man, it's so fun when you can just wreck everything in sight.
Chuck says, there was a sequel to that oil rig game you were playing a while back.
Still Wakes the Deep. Is there a sequel to that? Let me look that up real quick. Still Wakes the Deep 2.
Sounds like a horror movie.
Yeah, it pretty much is. Oh, wow. Let's see. This was last month. Sequel surprises. Fans mixed on follow-up to Still Wakes the Deep. This is from Level Up Talk. What they're saying. Players enjoyed the DLC, yet question its necessity. One noted the DLC was okay, but I don't know if it was needed. There's a sense of anticipation for the new studio's next project. There's another commented, I do think whatever is next from these guys is needed. So some users are critical of the pacing in the original. A comment stated, I thought it cut off weirdly. To be honest, the pacing was odd. I don't know. That doesn't sound like a sequel. Yeah, I think it's DLC. It's not an actual sequel. It's DLC. But that sounds cool. I mean, I might go check that out. I like that game. If you're a good horror survival game fan, you'll like it because there are no weapons in the game. You basically just stuff happens and you have to run or hide, and that makes it even more scary. So if you're into that type of stuff, go play it.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that's about it for. I mean, unless there's something else you wanted to let the people know.
I did want to say real quick, I did get to finally see the new Superman.
Oh,
and then I also saw Fantastic Four over the weekend. Both very good movies. It's such a nice change that both Marvel and DC put out good movies so close together. But if you haven't checked them out, they're both excellent. So
I haven't seen Fantastic Four yet. I want to.
It's by far the best Fantastic Four movie. And I know people might be saying that's not saying a lot, but it's actually quite good. And what's cool is, I mean, we've talked about the unreleased Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie. All 4 of the cast members have cameos.
Really?
In the movie, which I thought was good on Marvel to do.
That's really cool. That's awesome. If you ever get a chance to watch that, go watch it because it is worth watching. But just go in knowing it's probably one of the worst movies you'll ever see.
Not entirely its own fault. Like to be fair, there are elements of it that I liked, but you could tell they made this thing for like no money.
Yeah. Well, they had to make it or they would lose the license. So that's why it was made for basically peanuts and a bag of coffee is pretty much what that movie was made for.
Not even a bag of Funyuns, and those things were like, you could get those by the dozen in 1994.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, it's worth watching. You can pretty much see it anywhere. I think they probably have a copy up on YouTube at this point.
Yeah,
you can go watch.
They do. So. That's how I watched it.
But yeah, I'm gonna watch it probably this weekend. I know the girlfriend wants to go see. Still wants to go see Jurassic World, so I need to take her to that first since I made her go see Superman before that. So I owe her one.
Understandable. Oh, Jonathan Montez says, good movie, that post-credit scene. Yeah, I'm not going to say what
spoilers.
It is, but yeah.
But yeah, it's there's not a whole lot of news this week, so if you want to go ahead and get these out the way, we can get to some this month in video game history.
Sure.
All right, let's do the news first. Some of this week's stories were provided to us by Mr. Armez Jackson, and if you have a news story you'd like us to cover, send them to nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. And the first story is from mynintendonews.com. Nintendo announces new Nintendo Switch Online playtest program. It's similar to the previous session on the Nintendo Switch, which took place in late 2024. Anyone can apply for the program after meeting its qualifications. Own a registered Nintendo account within the following countries: Japan, US, UK, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Canada, Brazil, or Mexico. Own an active Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack membership before July 17th. And be at least 18 years old before July 1st. Let's see. Applicants can sign up individually or in groups of 4, and no one can speak about any information related to the program except for those who participated, including group members. Group applications don't increase the chance for selection. Applying as a group only results in the full team participating or not. Will be chosen via raffle if too many Japanese players apply. Anyone else outside of Japan will participate on a first-come, first-served basis. So if you're interested in being a play tester for Nintendo, go sign up.
That would be cool. You know, that's something you think of. Like, even when you were a kid, you're like, I'd love to try out some new games before anybody else does. It's like in The Wizard when they had the unveiling of Super Mario Brothers 3, and that was the first time anyone ever saw it.
Dude, I wanted to be one of those game. What were they called in that where you called in to Nintendo with tips and tricks? What were those people called?
Was it like a game counselor?
Yeah, game counselor. I wanted to be a game counselor when I was a kid. Like, what a cool job that would be.
Yeah, show up in a red hat and like that tan like Letterman jacket.
Yeah,
that typical '90s style.
Yeah,
but no, I think this would be really cool. Like the worst thing that happens is you don't get picked. So
yeah,
I don't think it hurts to try.
Sucks you don't get to talk about it though. You can only talk about it to people in the program. Of course, I'd be blabbing everything on this show, so that's why they wouldn't pick me.
I was about to say, the asterisks would be if one of the Nerd Cave Retro hosts.
Yeah,
got
don't let this guy in.
From bleedingcool.com, someone is releasing a version of Outrun on Game Boy Color. There are a number of video games that people wish had been released on other platforms over the decades. Sometimes we get them, sometimes we don't. Excuse me, and on occasion, someone else does the work for us. Indie retro game developer Rocket Ship Park decided to take a classic and put it on another classic, as they have developed a version of the racing title Outrun from Sega and modified it to play on the Game Boy Color. The full title of this project is What If Outrun GB, which shows how different games can be ported with ease onto systems they weren't made for, while also showing off the capabilities of some of the old school software. You can read more about it and play the game there's a link where you can basically read more about this. We now wait to see if Sega takes it down immediately or lets it live to see how popular it is. I never played Outrun.
Sega's a little more lenient with stuff like this than Nintendo is. Nintendo, it would be yanked down immediately, but Sega's kind of like, let's just leave it out there and see what happens.
The link still works, and there's download information, so
yeah,
looks. I mean, we always think, like, what if Link to the Past was released for for the Game Boy? I know we had Link's Awakening, but what if you could play it portably before it was made for the Game Boy Advance or something like that? It gives the game new life.
Yeah, of course. Especially stuff like this. I mean, if somebody puts out something like this and it actually works, then why doesn't Sega and Nintendo actually just buy it from them and put it out as a thing? Like, why not? Yeah. And, you said you never played Outrun?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Outrun was a really fun arcade game. That's the one where you could crash and, you both fly out of the car and your car explodes. That was always fun.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Eventually I will. And I've heard of it and know of it, but just one of the many, many games that I have not played yet.
Yeah, Outrun was always an arcade staple. Every time you went to the arcade back in the 80s, there was an Outrun in the arcade.
Oh, absolutely.
And the last story is from, of course, NintendoLife.com. Blurred art in Nintendo's N64 Switch Online trailer suggests exciting upcoming additions. Intrepid fans have been doing some serious detective work on Nintendo's N64 trailer from May, and they think they've identified several as yet unannounced releases for Nintendo Switch Online. As highlighted by @imakuniVT, the section of the trailer shown off The app's new CRT filter has the blurred game selection screen shown in the thing here. Playing around with layers and a little Gaussian blur, fans have been busy identifying potential games in the background, including Donkey Kong 64, Forsaken 64, Glover, Super Smash Brothers, and Rayman 2. So what do you think there, Derek? You ready for some Glover to come to the Nintendo Switch 2?
You know, when I woke up this morning, the first thing I thought of was, I really hope Glover gets announced for the Switch 2.
Yeah, I really were ready to play some Hamburger Helper the game.
That actually would have been more interesting. Well, I mean, they made games with like the Noid and Pepsi Man, so why not just remake Glover but have it be the Hamburger Helper hand?
Yeah, why not? I mean, they don't have to change much.
And then once you beat it, you get Hamburger Helper's second quest, the Lasagna Edition. Yeah. But I would be... I mean, a couple of those games, obviously Donkey Kong 64 and Super Smash Brothers, is well worth an addition to the Nintendo 64 library. I'm a Donkey Kong 64 defender, have been since the game came out. And Super Smash Brothers, obviously, is the game that started an iconic franchise. So those I would definitely be interested in playing. Forsaken 64 and Rayman 2 I never played, so I can't really speak on those.
Yeah, I don't honestly think I've played any of these. I mean, my experience with the N64 was pretty basic. You know, I played Mario, I played Zelda, you know, what else was there? I played Turok, Shadows of the Empire, things, and the other Star Wars games, the Rebel Assault game. That, you know, my Nintendo 64 library was pretty meager by the time I rolled into the original Xbox, because that's Nintendo 64 got me back into console gaming around 99. But then around late 2000, 2001 is when I got an Xbox. So my Nintendo 64 just kind of didn't last that long. Oh, yeah, I had GoldenEye for the Nintendo. But that was like something I was playing before that, because all my friends had a Nintendo 64. So that was, you know, that was a staple of the...
That was required playing back then.
Mid to late 90s. You knew somebody that had a copy of GoldenEye.
Yeah, you weren't getting away from the GoldenEye phase. You either played it, or at worst, you watched friends play it.
Yeah. And I think that's probably why I just don't have as much nostalgia pull to the Nintendo 64 as maybe, say, you do. Because I just didn't spend a whole lot of time with it. I had one of my own, and I only had it, like I said, for like a year and a half before I moved on to the Xbox. So I really didn't play much. Oh, and I played a lot of Resident Evil 2. I can tell you that. I played a lot of Resident Evil 2 on it. But other than that, I just don't... There's not much on the N64 that really makes me crave it, I guess.
Are you surprised that with as much praise as Ocarina of Time got, and still does, that Nintendo hasn't done a remaster of it yet?
That still boggles my mind. And I still don't know why... They never they did a remake of Wind Waker for the
Wii U.
The Wii U, but why not just put it on the Wii, or not the Wii, but the Switch? You could have easily ported that to the Switch. Why? What are they doing?
They did do a version for the 3DS where the graphics were a little smoother looking, but I'm talking like a major console re-release or remaster. You could basically print money.
I mean, they could
like
put
if they announced that for the Switch 2, that would get me to buy one.
They should remake that game, but do it in the Breath of the Wild engine, and just have it look like Breath of the Wild, but just remake that whole game. I would purchase it day one. I would buy a Switch 2 for that.
Mm-hmm. So would I. Maybe with the movie coming out in a couple of years, they'll pull the trigger on that to
I don't know.
Get some extra hype.
I mean, I've been a Nintendo fanboy for 40 freaking years now, and I still don't understand them. I just don't. I don't get what they're like. Why do I love them so much? Wally's right. I'm in an abusive relationship with Nintendo.
You sound like John Cena when he turned heel.
Yeah, no kidding. But that's gonna actually, we didn't even bring it up at the beginning of the show. Some of the people that we lost this week, man.
Yeah,
Man, we lost.
not a good week to be a celebrity. That's for sure.
Ozzy, dude. Ozzy's hurt me bad, man. Dude, that one really has been affecting me a lot.
You look at the circumstances of the fact that he had his last concert a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
and I don't want to go into a discussion about is there an afterlife, is there not, but that they raised over $170 million for charity.
Yeah,
doing that event. And it was almost kind of like when that concert ended, he was like, I'm done.
Yep. You could not have gone out a better way. I mean,
no. And there are a lot of musical influences, but when you look at the metal genre, he's got to be like a concrete addition on the Mount Rushmore.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, just Ozzy's. It's kind of like Ozzy's like the alpha and the omega. It's like he's always been and always will be.
Yeah, you just think of songs like Iron Man and especially Paranoid. When you hear that opening guitar riff, it's like there's no other sound like it, and I don't think there ever will be.
If it wasn't for Black Sabbath, there would be no heavy metal genre.
No,
not in the form that it went to and still is.
No, I think the term trailblazer is a little overused, but he was absolutely a trailblazer in the music world.
But I've been going down a lot of Ozzy rabbit holes the last few days, and just listening to a lot of Ozzy, and he's been a staple my entire life. Me and my brother loved listening to Ozzy. We had VHS tapes of his concerts when I was a kid that we wore out. Like Ozzy's like a grandpa to me, and I just it's like I lost my grandpa, and it hurts.
Yeah, but what a life that guy lived, though.
Dude. And we also lost Hulk Hogan, which Wally summed it up perfectly on Facebook. He wrote, "Complicated feelings, brother." And I could not have said it better myself.
Yeah. Here's my thing, and if this upsets some people that listen, I apologize, but this is just my opinion. I am not a fan at all of Terry Bollea, the human being.
No.
He did some awful things, said awful things, treated people in an awful way. But the people online that are saying that Hulk Hogan should be treated the same as Chris Benoit are stupid.
Yeah.
One murdered his wife and his own 7-year-old child.
Yeah, that's kind of unforgivable. I mean...
Yeah. But you can't deny that wrestling would not be where it is 100%. Without Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
He's the reason for the wrestling boom in the 1980s. And Joey Image put out a video that I think sums it up pretty well. Like Hulk Hogan, the character, provided a lot of good memories for people, especially those who grew up in the 80s and when Hulkamania was running wild, no pun intended. And even, into the 90s when the NWO was formed. And I still think his heel turn is like top 3 moment in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's...
I think honestly, my take is of all the like celebrity deaths of people that I grew up with, and they turned out to be garbage humans. It's like it's hard to sometimes separate the art from the artist, but I think Hulk Hogan is the easiest one to separate Hulk Hogan from Terry Bollea, because Hulk Hogan taught me a lot of great life things when I was a kid, like to take care of yourself, take care of others, stand up for people that are, stand up for the weak, like stand up to oppressors. Like he gave you a lot of life lessons as a kid, take your vitamins, work out, say your prayers, all that stuff. But the human behind it was a very flawed human being who had a lot of problems and treated a lot of people like shit. So it's very easy for me to separate the Hulk Hogan from Terry Bollea. I mourn the loss of Hulk Hogan. Terry Bollea, sorry, dude, but you can burn in hell for all I care.
He'll be hanging out with Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
We'll just say that. But yeah, and people were even mad at WWE for doing a tribute for him.
Why
I'm
would
like,
they not?
how can you not?
He's the reason they're as big as they are. People have to
Yes.
realize that.
It's kind of crazy. I thought that he would outlive Ric Flair.
Oh, I thought so too. I thought Hulk Hogan was going to outlive everybody from that era. If you'd have told me 20 years ago that Ric Flair was the last man standing, I would not have believed it.
When Flair and Vince McMahon pass away, those are three of the most influential and important names in wrestling. And it's just, I don't think Flair has much time left, and I hate to say that.
Dude, how many
you
heart
look at his
surgeries
condition,
has he had? I mean,
yeah, and he just battled cancer.
Yeah. I can't believe Ozzy lived as long as he did. Like, I got mad online because people are always talking shit about Sharon Osbourne. And I'm like, do you guys not realize that if it was, yeah, she might have been a hard ass at being Ozzy's manager, but if it wasn't for her, we would have lost Ozzy a long time ago.
She's the MVP of the Osbourne family.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
She deserves all the praise in the world. And for sticking by him after all some of the stuff he did behind this. I mean, he was one of those people, like, yeah, he led a problematic life too at times, but he was able to rise above it and become a better human being.
Yeah, and I think that's where I'm more disappointed about Hulk Hogan / Terry Bollea, because if you think about it, he could have left behind an incredible legacy.
Yeah.
If he stuck to what Hulk Hogan stood for.
Yep.
Like when you think of the iconic celebrities and athletes, like you think of Michael Jordan, you think of Wayne Gretzky, he's in that echelon. Hulk Hogan, the character, is in that echelon, in that tier. And him, like a lot of other celebrities, they surround themselves by a bubble.
Yep.
And they can't get out of it. They can't or don't want to get out of it.
Yeah. And Chuck said also too, we lost musician Chuck Mangione this week too. He's if you don't know who Chuck Mangione is, just look him up on YouTube. You've heard his music. I know you have. Everyone has. Like that. As soon as you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, I know that guy.
Oh yeah, King of the Hill's favorite musician. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Rushmore says he wants Link to the Past poured in Breath of the Wild.
Dude, I would play that too.
That'd be cool.
You could literally take all Legend of Zeldas and just put them in the Breath of the Wild engine, and I would replay all of them right now. Like, you wouldn't even have to ask. Nintendo would be like, we're going to just re-release every single Legend of Zelda game ever made, but we're doing it in the Breath of the Wild engine for $500. I'd be like, all right, let me break out the credit card and I'll see you at the store, sir.
Yep, I would do the same.
But that's going to bring us to the end of our memorial section here on the Nerd Cave Retro Show. But let's go ahead and go into this month in video game history. And we'll blaze through these pretty fast. On July 9th of 1981, Nintendo releases Donkey Kong, which introduced the characters Donkey Kong and Mario. It sets the template for the platform game genre. It is also one of the first video games with an integral storyline. But also, it wasn't Mario at the time. It was Jumpman.
Old Jumpman.
Jumpman.
Yeah, I've said this ad nauseum. This is one of the most... It may not be the best video game because... It's not the most exciting, but it is one of the most important video games ever because it sets the standard, like we said, for the platform genre. It introduced Mario and Donkey Kong. It's even good to see Pauline getting a little love. You know, she was in Mario Odyssey and now is in the new Donkey Kong Bonanza game. So,
wonder if they're going to put her in a bigger role in the next movie. Bring her back into the fold.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
I bet that's what they're doing.
We didn't even talk about how Nintendo said that Mario got put in the friend zone.
Yeah, I saw that. I forgot to put that in here.
I'll just say this, to quote the great Ron Burgundy, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
when I say that to Nintendo. July 15th, 1983, Nintendo releases the Family Computer, a.k.a. the Famicom console in Japan. Shortly after its release, complaints began to surface about rampant system instability, prompting Nintendo to issue a product recall and to re-release the machine with a new motherboard. It would later be released worldwide as the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yes. Let's see. July 19th of 1991, Square releases Final Fantasy IV in Japan. The first Final Fantasy game for the Super Famicom, released in November as Final Fantasy II in North America. Now, I'm not going to go on my rant. I'm not going to go on a Final Fantasy rant.
I had to throw that one in there.
And you gave it
July
to me. 20... I see you strategically put it in there for me to read it.
Yeah, I did. 1995, July 21st, Nintendo releases the Virtual Boy 32-bit console in Japan and is discontinued on December 22nd of the same year.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you give people, migraine headaches for playing a game for more than 3 minutes.
I've thought about buying a Virtual Boy one day and just reviewing one of the games just for the heck of it.
And Rushmore says he won't burn in hell. He repented. I'm like, sure.
So we mentioned not Boomhauer. Actually, we did mention King of the Hill, but to quote Boomhauer,
every time I see a Virtual Boy, I think of that the Seinfeld episode with the Kenny Rogers roaster sign and Kramer's apartment's all red. He's like, "What the hell's going on in there?"
It's also the inspiration for a pretty good meme.
Yeah, no, it's I love that meme. Oh, shoot, I forgot also, too, Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away this week, too.
Yeah, Theo from The Cosby Show.
He was the big brother everybody wanted.
The way he died was so sad.
No, it's awful. Yeah. I hate it. Well, I mean, he died saving his daughter, basically, but I mean, he died a hero, but damn, man, he didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
It sucks. Rest in peace, Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Absolutely.
And, Ozzy and, of course, Hulk Hogan. Not Terry. Hulk Hogan. So rest in peace, you guys. July 23rd of 2001, Remedy Entertainment releases Max Payne for Windows. Want to get it? Window Pane.
I get it. Waka waka waka.
Waka waka.
July 16th of 2003, BioWare and LucasArts release a little-known game called Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic for the Xbox. And I still say these should have been made into movies.
Mm-hmm. Never heard of it. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, and it didn't spawn a sequel that was arguably better.
Yeah. I mean, they could still make a movie out of it, or a couple of movies, but, that'll never happen.
No, but as our friends from the Rushmore show said, that's for another show.
Yeah. Before we go into the review tonight, Derek, you want to do our Patreon shout-outs?
Sure. As always, we like to shout out our awesome members of our Patreon at patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. My mind's working too fast tonight.
Yeah.
We want to shout out Riley, Romaldo Marquez, the official fact checker and the official dungeon master of the Nerd Cave Retro Show, Mr. Wally Phelps, Nick W., Eld the Zombie, Yup Fed, a.k.a. Knife, James, a.k.a. at Jimbo Jr. on our Discord, Raven, Danny House, Justin Nispel, Daniel Salmon, a.k.a. Bethany Fox, our amazing Discord community manager, Mr. B-Res Coffee himself, Mike Eveland, the fact checker to the fact checker, Tyler the Wordsmith Watson, Axeblade07, the official NCR beat writer, Armez Jackson, Carlos Longoria, a.k.a. I am the Rampage! Staff Sergeant Sketch, Gus and Penny, Matthew Salmon, Joey the American Salad Potato, violinist, pianist, and overall enjoyer of music. It's been a while since we've had a new name for him, but he sent us a screen cap of a DM he got a year ago where someone called him American Salad or something like that. And I'm like,
So
I don't even know
weird.
what to say to that.
I don't know. I was like, I played bass for American Salad back in the 90s.
back in the 90s. Yeah, I got nothing for that one.
Me neither.
One of these days, I'm going to record a boxing announcer style intro for him and send it to you so you can play it on the show. And last but not least,
Mama Diamond.
Donna Diamond, thank you all so much for your continued contributions to keeping the lights on for us here at the Nerd Cave Retro Podcast. For as little as $1 a month, that's $1. That's 100 cents if you like the longer numbers. My mind's all over the place today. It's been a long day.
It's a hot one today. Even our brains are scrambled.
It's the heat. It's having to stare at a computer screen all day. It's all that fun stuff. But you get early access to the epic, exciting conclusion of the Nerd Cave Retro Quest Dungeons and Dragons campaign. And it was a lot of fun. You know, I all 3 installments were fun, but I think this one was my favorite.
Yeah, this one was all action. So if you've been following along, if you haven't listened to it yet, it's still available exclusively for the patrons for at least another 3 weeks or so. So go, if you're a patron, go listen to it. We also put up a video you can watch. And either way, you know, now's the perfect time to join the Patreon because we're about to go into a brand new month. Joining at the beginning of the month is perfect. So if you go and join for as little as $1, you get all that stuff, and your own personal RSS feed for the show.
With no ads.
No ads whatsoever.
No ads whatsoever. But yeah, if you want to be a part of our awesome Patreon community, just head over to patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. And for new patrons, be sure to send us your social media information so we can give you a proper shout out.
And tonight, we're going to be talking about... I love the sound of the Super Nintendo. It just, man, it's so cool.
It's so good. What's interesting about that track is when at the beginning, I feel like I'm about to walk into a spa.
Yeah.
And maybe sit in a hot tub and just, meditate. And then it's like it throws you into a big adventure.
Yeah.
Which is fitting because that's the type of game that this is that we're going to be talking about. Terranigma is a 1995 action role-playing game developed by Quintet for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, with manga artist Kamui Fujiwara acting as the character designer. The game tells the story of the Earth's resurrection by the hands of a boy named Ark, and its progress from the evolution of life to the present day. It is the third entry in an unofficial trilogy of action role-playing games created by Quintet, also including Illusion of Gaia, released in 93, and Soul Blazer, released in 1992. So I knew of this game back in the 90s. I've said I'm a huge fan of Illusion of Gaia. I think it's one of the most underrated RPGs for the Super Nintendo. And come to find out that this was kind of made in the same vein, but I never got the chance to play it at the time that it was released. And I've been meaning to play this game for years. And it's like, I'll start to play it, and then something else, draws my attention. And it's a game that I wanted to give as much attention to as I could, because with RPGs, they're much more in depth than, say, Earthworm Jim 2
Yeah.
or Banjo-Kazooie or
Yeah.
something along those lines. So I was really excited to finally commit to playing this. And I will preface this by saying I'm going to apologize in advance for the Illusion of Gaia comparisons, because there's a lot of them. But I think they're appropriate because this is made in the same vein. Back in the 90s, RPGs for the Super Nintendo, they were they were kind of like a dime a dozen.
Oh
There were
yeah.
a lot of great RPGs for that system. And it's funny because it's almost like there's so many streaming services and there's so many shows now to watch, where it's like you and I can be talking. I can say, "Oh, did you watch this on Netflix?" And you could say, "Well, no, but have you watched this on Disney Plus?"
Yeah.
No, I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. There were so many great RPGs that it was impossible near about to play all of them. When I turned this game on and I heard the title track and I started getting into the story, it sucked me back into a simpler time.
Yeah.
You know, I could almost imagine playing this game in my old room in the house that I grew up in. It takes you back to the mid 90s.
Well, it definitely.
And I thought that
It has that look and just that feel of that. There's just something special about those Super Nintendo RPGs that just kind of just put you right back into a place and time.
yeah, absolutely. And it's one of my favorite eras of gaming, the mid to late 90s, strictly for the RPGs. They're a big part of it. So the story, and I kind of went in by design of not knowing all that much about what the story was. Like I knew the very basics. I knew it had to do with restoring the earth and whatnot, but it's more in depth than I think I expected it to be. So I mentioned that the character you play as is this kid named Ark, and he's kind of like the town mischief. He's the you know how you grew up and you had the a kid or two that your parents would be like, "No, I don't want you hanging out with him." That was Ark. He was always causing trouble and whatnot. And then what ends up happening is that the town he lives in, everyone except for him and the town elder are frozen in place, and they're almost like statues. And they're frozen by this element called crystal blue. And what you have to do is you have to go to these 5 different towers and restore them, and that restores kind of the land above Earth. Because what's the right way to say this? For anyone who's seen the more recent Godzilla and King Kong movies, there's
Yeah.
Hollow Earth that's inside of the planet. That's basically how you start the game. And that delves into a much deeper part of the story where it's almost like heaven and hell, basically. There's the surface Earth, and then there's the subterranean Earth. Where you start is the subterranean Earth. In the beginning of the game, it felt a little slow and repetitive because going through the towers aren't that difficult. And the controls and the combat are very basic, but Illusion of Gaia was kind of the same way. You have your basic attack, and then you have kind of secondary ones. But what's cool about this game is that you get magic spells that you can use. You didn't really have that in Illusion of Gaia. You also didn't have shops where you could replenish like your health or items or anything. But what sucks is that the spells are a one-time use thing.
Oh, that sucks.
What you have to do is you have to find these things called Magirocks, and you take those to a mage or a magic shop, and they convert it into a spell use.
Ah, okay.
Which can get kind of annoying, I'll be honest, because when you get cool spells, you just want to go in, just spells ablazing and
Yeah.
just wipe everything out. But you cannot do that in this game, as I found out the hard way.
So do you have like a spell bag where you can keep a bunch of them, or you just get like one at a time?
So you have different ones. So one of the cool things is early in the game you release this friendly demon called, and I should have put his name in my notes. I think it's in here. Okay, you find a mysterious box containing a friendly demon named Yami. And what you basically do once you get the box, that's almost like your safe space where you store your items, your weapons, where you store your spells, and you can equip and unequip different things too. And you find different weapons like your spears, your swords, your basic combat weapons like that. Because the way I describe this game as a genre is a medieval drama mixed with a post-apocalyptic thriller, which is actually a pretty interesting mashup and not one that I would have expected.
Yeah.
But I liked that. I like being able to have different weapons and different spells because as much as I love Illusion of Gaia, you can upgrade your, strength, your defense, and your health, but you don't really get any new weapons, which is kind of unfortunate. Like you'll get a couple of different variants of attacks,
Yeah.
but this is, while I don't think I liked the story as much as Illusion of Gaia, I was drawn more into like how the game is played because it plays more like an RPG that I would think of. It's not as limited,
Yeah.
if you will.
So it's not turn based or anything. It's just sort of
No,
is straight attack like a Legend of Zelda Link
exactly.
to the Past because
Yep.
it's got
It's
a
a
Link to the Past vibe looking at it here.
Yeah, it's a top-down view like Link to the Past. And then once you go to all five towers, then you can go to the surface world and your job is to basically restore Earth back to its original state, which is a much grander thing than, or much grander scale than I would have expected. But I liked going in and not really knowing that much about it.
Yeah.
But and I haven't finished this game yet. It is pretty lengthy. So the game is separated into different chapters. And there's actually, let's see.
But does it have like a progression system or anything like that? Those type of things that really suck you into RPGs, like, being able to upgrade armor and things like that? Or is it sort of, I don't know.
Yeah, so you get to level up. So that increases your health and your overall like offense and defense, but then you do also get different types of armor, different weapons. So there are things that you can collect throughout the game. But this was a nice surprise, and my expectations going in were pretty high anyway, because the game got high praise back in the day, and what I've read about it has been nothing but good. So this was one that I would start playing it, and next thing I know, an hour or an hour and a half had gone by, and I've spent a good 2 weeks playing this game, so I've really gotten to know it.
Yeah, these later Super Nintendo RPGs and stuff, like this is the first time I'd heard of this game when you brought it up last week. You were going to review it. I just don't know these late Super Nintendo RPGs, and I really want to because these look fun, and I like these style of RPGs.
Yeah, to me, this is. I don't want to say Terranigma is the perfect RPG, but when you think of games like this, I'd throw Chrono Trigger in there. The really iconic RPGs you can think of from that time, they have like the perfect play style. Like I don't like the turn-based. I just like Link to the Past, where you just go in an area, you find the enemies, and you attack them with whatever you want.
Yeah.
That to me is just such an immersive and addictive style of gameplay. It's simple, but you get to add and develop to it as you progress. Like you
Yeah.
start out with the bare basics. Like your first weapon in this game, I believe, is a spear, and that's really about it. You don't get magic until a little bit later on. But the
Yeah.
great thing is that, well, you can say it's great or not, but a lot of the enemies, especially in the beginning of the game, aren't very powerful. So you can kind of go in, you know, almost kind of recklessly,
Yeah.
but which is fun. And especially when you level up and you can defeat some of the smaller enemies in like 2 or 3 hits. And what's funny is, and the animations crack me up sometimes, and I don't know if they're intentionally funny, but whenever you use the spear, you can do a simple jab, or if you keep hitting the B button, he just starts kind of wildly just poking everything like crazy, and it's actually quite effective.
That's funny.
Yeah,
You know,
but
what
the
I was
oh,
thinking
go
about it
ahead.
too. Like this came out in '95, and I'm thinking like this is late Super Nintendo. This is only 4 years into the Super Nintendo, and we're about to have the N64 come out. The Super Nintendo didn't have that long of a lifespan, and that's weird to me.
But man, what an impact it made. There's so many good games
I
for the Super
know.
Nintendo. It's Yeah, and this game, like I mentioned, is one that I think I would personally rate it a little higher if I had played it growing up.
Yeah.
Because like if I played Illusion of Gaia or Earthbound for the first time you know, at my age that I am now, I don't know if I would love them as much. But same thing with this. Like we've talked about numerous games on the show where you're like, man, if I had played this
Yeah.
when I was growing up, this would have been like I would have played through this game so many times.
Yeah.
And I think this truly would be one of those. It just it's disappointing, but it's also kind of cool in the same way, depending on how you look at it. Because it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you get to discover new good games that you didn't play before, but then you're like, I would have liked them so much more. And that's not a knock
Yeah.
on the game. Like I still would give it a pretty high rating, but it's kind of one of those what if things.
Yeah. I mean, it got pretty good reviews. I'm looking at the reception here. It got the Silver Hall of Fame award from Famitsu. It's got someone said it here. Video games. Jan Schweinitz regarded it as a worthy successor to Zelda 3.
I don't think I've ever heard Link to the Past be called Zelda 3.
I did. I've never haven't either. I'm just like Zelda 3. What are you talking about?
If that person were here right now, I would say, get that blasphemous stuff off our show. Don't ever say that again.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
Link
it's
to the
got-
Past.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a very Link to the Past look to it. So,
Oh, yeah.
it just looks great.
It is. And one of the reviews here says Maniac's Robert Bannert praised its atmospheric world, characters, stereo soundtrack, map design, and sophisticated controls, regarding it as a good game in the Japanese action adventure tradition. I didn't dislike the music, but I won't say that I loved it. Like there's nothing that stands out about it,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. But it's not a knock against the game. And one of the kind of trippier things about the world map, especially when you're in the underworld, the way that it looks is almost like you're looking at it through a fisheye lens, where it's your character on the map and his like immediate environment looks normal,
Yeah.
but the ground kind of curves upward,
Yeah.
and then the bottom of the planet's surface kind of curves downward. And I'm like, I don't think I drank before I started playing this game. But and that's a minor critique, but
Yeah.
other than the slow start, I really don't have much to complain about this game. It was as good as I was hoping it would be. I'm going to continue playing it because I'm very curious to see how the game ends. Like I've read a couple of things that sound kind of wild, and I'm not denying that they're not true, but I'm curious to find out for myself. And some of the scores, computer and video games gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Joypad gave it 88%, Player One 90%. The Super Famicom gave it a 78, and Game Rankings gave it a 74.14. I'm going to say, because I'm a sucker for games from that era, especially RPGs, it has a great look. It has a great sound, as you heard at the beginning of this review. It's got a great story. So I'm going to give this game a solid 8.5.
Nice.
And it would probably be a 9 or a 9.5 had I grown up loving this game.
Yeah.
I really liked it. It has everything that I would want in a Super Nintendo RPG, and there's more to discover. So those are my thoughts on Terranigma.
Well, coming up next week, don't forget, everybody, this Thursday, we're going to be on the Rushmore Show live on YouTube talking about greatest sleepover games. And you can go to their channel, youtube.com/@therushmoreshow. Me and Derek are going to be on there this Thursday, 7 o'clock Central. Be there.
Yep, and we'll be posting a link to their channel as well as the direct link to watch the live stream. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
And also, we have an announcement. We've been talking about this for a couple months now. August is going to be top 5 month. We're going to be doing nothing but top 5 lists. And we had a lot of people, give us their top 5 list ideas. So the very first one we're going to do is, Derek.
A special thank you to @Nick the Horror Game Fan. We're going to do top 5 worst boss fights.
Oh, I can think of one right offhand.
Any from Zelda 2?
I never got far enough in that game to actually get to a boss fight. So, yeah, I can think of one immediately. I will just say it's Metroid. It's Metroid. It's a Metroid game. Yeah,
makes sense.
But I won't say which game until Thursday.
Yeah, I'll have to think on that.
Or Monday, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, next Monday.
Yeah, next Monday. So that's your top 5 for next week, everybody. Get us your top 5 list. Join our Discord. You can go into the top 5 lists room there, or whatever it's called, tab, and go give us your top 5 list there. And if you do it on Facebook, I promise I won't forget to look on Facebook next week before making the lists here.
I'll double check.
Yeah.
So that way we don't miss any.
Yeah. But that's going to bring us to the end of the episode. Derek, what's going on within your neck of the woods?
Well, besides my camera being blurry and I can't fix it.
I know, it's so weird.
Yeah, it hates me. Go to facebook.com/wiredforsoundmovie. I've been talking about it for the past couple of months. We're still raising money. It's a short film written and will be directed by my good friend Chad Sanders. We'll be shooting in the Pensacola area in the middle of September. So keep your fingers crossed for cooler weather because some of the scenes will be outside. And there's some cool perks. We're doing a GoFundMe that you can find a link to that in really any of the posts that we've made. So facebook.com/wiredforsoundmovie.
And go check out the Open Micers podcast with me and Mr. Jacob Craig at Open Micers Podcast on the socials. We've been having a lot of host episodes, and we've been talking about all kind of stuff like disappearing ghost electrician guys and just all kind of weird stuff. So go check it out, the Open Micers Podcast, openmicers.com. And so is that everything, Derek? Is that everything for this week?
I think so.
All right, don't forget, everybody, next week, top 5 worst boss fights, and we're going to walk out the door And if you want to email us at nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. And also leave us a voice message at voicecast.app/NCR. You don't have to sign up for anything, nothing. You just go there, leave the message, and that's it. It won't ask you for money or to sign up or anything. You just leave a message, we'll play it on the show. nerdcaveretro.com is our link tree. That takes you everywhere you need to go. All the socials, all the ways to give us money, which we have our Patreon, and of course our merch shop at ncrmerch.com, where we have all kind of designs for t-shirts, hats, magnets, bags, mugs, whatever your nerdy heart desires. And I understand times are tough. We got like tariffs and like inflation and all kind of weird stuff. Go, if you don't have that money, I understand. Go leave us a review. It's free, and or a 5-star rating on all podcasting platforms. Derek, please tell them what it's all about.
May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.
Yes.
Master Blaster runs Bartertown.
And that's an episode, everybody. Yeah. So it's finally starting to cool off now because my new office here, I have the window that's like right next to me, and I can just feel the heat blazing through.
Well, didn't you say you got your AC fixed too?
Yeah, the AC's fixed. It feels better in here, though. It does feel
good.
better. But, man, just when the sun's going down and the sun's out there, and it's dumb, and I hate it, and the sun just needs to burn out because I hate it.
Yeah. Just blanket the South in like a year-long winter.
I would love that. Just winter. Just give us winter for the rest of my life. Just give us winter.
I would drink a tall glass of the tears of people that would complain about that. Like the tallest glass you could find.
Me too. But we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. I'm going to play our little outro thing here for the YouTube. Thank you all for hanging out with us. And like I said, be right here Thursday night. Not right here, but be at the Rushmore show Thursday night. And then come back Monday for the top 5. So we'll see you guys in a few days.